What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 12, you guys, Episode 5. The episode is titled In Hot Water, you guys. So before we go ahead and get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and are not subscribed, then do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on a date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and turning on your post notifications. And with that, you guys, without further ado, let's discuss this episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, shall we? All right, you guys, so let's go down the line of what happened. So I'm gonna start with the nothing scenes and move forward. So the first thing we see is with Garcelle. So Garcelle is going, Garcelle just bought this house. And congratulations to Garcelle for that. You know, that's a big feat for, anybody to buy one home, yet alone one home, and then to buy a second home. So this is her second home. Now the house did look dilapidated, so I think she said she's gonna tear it down and build her a beach home. So she's there with her sister. I forgot what her sister's name was, but hey, she's building a beach home. This is something that she wants to have for her and her boys. You know, something that her boys can look back on and be like, wow, my mom did this. So yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. We as black people, I've said this to some of my friends, like, black people, we got to do better about, we talk about generational wealth, but we need to show our kids what it means to, have it, and then how to obtain it. So I love that they showed that in this episode with Garcelle. But basically, that was all we got with Garcelle's individual scenes. I'm noticing that Garcelle's individual scenes this season don't really give us much. Like, they don't really give us a whole lot, but it is what it is. So let's pause here and move forward, you guys. All right, you guys, next up we see Dorit and the Bum, aka Erica Jane. They're going out to lunch together. So Dorit talks about that damn therapy she did. Is it ERG, EDM, E something? I don't know what it is, and I don't really care what it was. But they're talking about that session she had. And she's talking about how it's therapeutic. It's this, it's that. Dorit, you're full of shit. Dorit is full of shit. Like, I just don't understand Dorit. I get it with this show that, you're filming a show. But for me personally, my bad, didn't mean to spit. For me personally, if I just got robbed or anything like that, and you come to me with the cameras, I'm going to tell you, you know what? Right now is not the best time for me to film, especially we're not filming in my house. But Dorit is so triggered by so many things, but Dorit is still able to participate in this. She is still able to film. She's still able to go on cast trips. If you're so triggered, you would be in a again, I don't want to take away from Dorit, but something that traumatic as being held at gunpoint, that is terrifying. You fear for your life at that moment. And I don't think that I would be in any position to do anything. Like, I would be a blithering mess. I would be crying. I would be crying incessantly. I wouldn't be able to look over my shoulders. Like, there would be so many things that I would not be able to do. But Dorit is able to do all of that on camera. Like, I wouldn't be able to leave. The biggest thing is I wouldn't be able to leave my house because I would be so afraid, of what's out there. But then at the same time, I wouldn't be able to stay in my home. So it's just a lot when it comes to Dorit. So then they talk about Renna and the fact that, Lois is not doing well. And Dorit is much like Kyle. When it comes down to a situation, Dorit can make anything about her. And I just roll my eyes at it. So Dorit is telling Erica that they're going to be going to Mexico and that Diana is booking the private jet. I used to have a private jet, but don't have it anymore. We know you don't have it anymore. You brokey. We know Oh, how the mighty have fallen. But let's pause here, you guys, and move forward. Next up, let's talk about Kyle. So Kyle and Crystal go out to lunch. So, Crystal, you're better than me because after that conversation in La Quinta with Kyle, I would not have went to lunch with Kyle. I really wouldn't. And I like Kyle, but yeah, I wouldn't have went to lunch with Kyle. Hell no. Like, I'm sitting here telling you guys how I feel about this situation, and you dismiss me. You can dismiss me with this lunch. So Kyle is going to let us know that her niece is getting married. Yep, her niece. You guys know who her niece is, right? I'm pretty sure we all know who her niece is. Paris Hilton. She is going to she name dropped Paris more than once in this episode. So she was talking about Paris getting married. So then they bring up the situation about Sutton. And Crystal says she's not going to repeat it. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Because for me, it just feels like some things are being left out. I feel like there's some things that are being left out of this conversation that we're not privy to, but we'll discuss it as we get there. So then Kyle tells Crystal to be careful of what she says, which that part I will agree with, because it leaves it to people's interpretation it leaves it up to the people's interpretation to think about what Sutton may have possibly said. And you guys know that I've said it plenty of times when it comes to Sutton. The reason that I can't 100% like Sutton is because of the whole Southern Belle persona that she has. And I don't trust someone who says they're Southern Belle. Just growing up here in Texas, and I know some Southern Belles, and they're not too fond of this. And I'm not saying that's what it is with Sutton, but some of the Southern Belles that I've saw that are white, they don't necessarily like this. So I'm not saying that that's what Sutton is. It's just that's my reason why I can't get behind Sutton 100%. That's what it is. So then Kyle tells Crystal she's gaslighting the situation. I was like, that's rich, Kyle. As if you don't gaslight. Okay. Touche. So you guys, we're going to pause here and move forward. Next up, interesting. So when the scene opened, it showed Diana, but then we're at Kyle's house. So why wasn't this a Kyle scene? So I'm wondering, because you guys know that they will do this with Housewives. They'll film the entire season of the show, and they'll already have pre-selected who is going to be a housewife and who is going to be a friend of the show. And then, sometimes they can get to the end of the season, and that said friend of the show has actually brought a lot more to the show than one of the actual housewives, and they will, they'll drop her. They'll take the friend of and make that person a main cast member. I'll give you guys some prime examples. Claudia Jordan. I was actually listening to Carlos King's podcast. Claudia Jordan, that season that she came on Real Housewives of Atlanta, she was supposed to be a friend of that entire season. She was never supposed to be a peach holder. From what I heard, Demetria McKinney was the peach holder, but Demetria wasn't bringing a whole lot. And then that infamous trip in Puerto Rico with Nene and with Claudia, that's actually what got her peach. And she actually did not sign her contract until the night before the reunion. Wow. So, and then also we know with Mary Cosby from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, season 1, Mary wasn't a full-time housewife. Mary was a friend of, until they really got to know who Mary was. And at the end of it, when they got their new production company, they made Mary a friend of. And when they do that, they have to then backtrack and try to get some footage of the new housewife, even though they didn't film with them for the good majority of the season. So yeah, kind of interesting, isn't it? So I'm kind of wondering if that's what happened with Diana, but they didn't drop any housewives, they just added a new one. So I'm kind of wondering with Diana, Actually, I think that is kind of what probably happened. I don't know, but it's just interesting with Diana because this scene said Diana, but we're at Kyle's house, and it's pretty much Kyle talking. So Kyle once again is talking about Paris's wedding. I'm like, you just gonna let us know that Paris is your niece, son? So she tells, what is her name? Diana, that her daughter Farrah got engaged. They talk about, Kyle talks about being a grandmother, and she asks Diana, how many more kids does she want? So Diana tells, the story about the fact that after she had her daughter, I think she said she was about 5 months old, and she got pregnant again, and she went to her doctor's appointment, and the doctor did an ultrasound on her, and I think she said she had her phone up, and she said that the doctor told her, put that phone down, this baby is dead. What kind of bedside manner is that? That's a horrible thing to say. And then when she told the story about how she had the baby, ugh, I don't want to repeat that because that was dark. That was dark. That was dark. But hey, that's that with her. So, like I said in last week's review, the jury is still out when it comes to Diana. I don't know if I like Diana. I don't know how I feel about Diana. The jury is still out. We are 5 episodes in, and I'm still just kind of unsure of my thoughts on Diana. But hey, let's pause here, you guys, and move forward. All right, you guys. So next up, we see Sutton and Garcelle. Now, like I said earlier, I am still not the biggest Sutton fan, but what I will say is when it comes to Sutton, I do love her relationship and her dynamic with Garcelle. I do love their friendship. So we see those two and they're out to dinner. So they talk about the night of Sutton's opening and what they brought to her about Crystal. So Sutton says that, she and Crystal, they had a long conversation over the summer and they talked about it. So this is where Sutton tells us, what this dark comment was that she made. And for me, like I said earlier, I just feel like maybe there's something that's left out because I feel like there's something that's lost in translation because it just doesn't make sense to me as a logical thinking person because that's what I pride myself on as being a logical thinking person. Something just doesn't 100% add up to me. So, and the thing that's interesting is with Bravo and their editors, we've been on this conversation now for 2 episodes, and this is the first time that y'all have shown this scene. This is the first time y'all have shown this scene. So we see Crystal and we see Sutton. So they're outside and they're talking. And again, we don't know what the context, like, I don't even know what the context of this damn conversation was because we don't know how this conversation came up. But Sutton is talking about her daughter was in a pool and there was some black girls, an Asian girl, and a redhead Irish Catholic girl, I think that's what she said, in the pool. And she said, that's how it should be. And I was like, okay. I still don't understand what the hell that conversation was about. I'm like, it's kind of awkward that that's what it is. It's like kind of awkward that she said, oh my God, there's a black girl, there's an Asian girl, and there's an Irish, there's a white girl, and then there's a red-headed Irish Catholic girl. Yeah, it's just quite interesting to me. It's kind of, it's just peculiar, but I don't see anything that's quote unquote dark. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. I really don't. I really don't. I don't see it. But again, like I said, it's interesting that Bravo just now showed us this footage. And it's also interesting that they didn't show us what, like, we don't know what led to this conversation. Like, how did this conversation come about? So there's some holes in it. But to be honest with you, I don't care. I don't care anymore. I really don't care. really don't care. So then Garcelle tells Sutton to watch her back. Okay, I'll give you that. I'll let you give Garcelle that one. But let's pause here, you guys, and move forward. Alright, you guys, so the next thing we got is I actually remember when this hit the blogs about, Lois's passing. I really do remember when it hit the blogs, and when I first saw that post that Lois had died, I gasped because I was like, oh my God, Lois? Like, I've been watching, like I told you guys before, I've been watching Beverly Hills since the beginning. And when Rinna came on and when we were introduced to Lois, Lois was the shit. Let's just say that. I can say that. Lois was the shit. I loved anytime Lois was on camera. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. But Lois passed away. She was 93 years old. And Lois, as sad as, you are about the fact of someone dying, when you say that someone passed away in their 80s and 90s, you can literally say that they lived a long and good life. Like, you can, especially for 93, Lois lived a great life. I know she did. So, we love you, Lois. Rest in peace. So we see all the ladies, they show up to the airport, including Rinna. Rinna made it, and she was like, Lois would want me to come, and I believe she would too. Child, Dorit will take a moment and she will take any moment and find a way to make it fit, find a situation to make it fit just perfectly. But I'm gonna let Dorit have it for right now. I'm gonna let her have it. So we see them as they get in their cars. So I think it's 4 people to a car. So we got Garcelle, Sutton, Crystal, and Erica in one car. Then it is Kyle. It is Rinna. It's Kyle, Rinna, Dorit, and I think Diana. They're in a car together. It was so hilarious when Garcelle said, how much you want to bet that Dorita's over there speaking Spanish to the driver, and they all had to laugh and said, yes, she's probably speaking Spanish to him, and he's telling her he speaks English. And lo and behold, Dorit is over there in that damn car talking to that man in Spanish, asking him how much longer. This man says clear as day in English, 20 minutes. I was like, that's my issue with Dorit. Dorit puts on so much when she doesn't have to. Like, okay, you speak different languages. Kudos to you. What, Polly wants a fucking cracker? Like, Dorit does too fucking much for me. And it's just like, girl, calm down. You hear this, and when he said 20 minutes, he was letting you know, girl, I speak English. I see what you're doing, because your friends back there speak English. You can talk to me in English. Like, I hate people. I really do hate people like that. And I know hate is a strong word, but I cannot stand a person like that. That I just can't stand a person that puts on, that likes to show off. Oh, I can do this when it's not even needed. The man speaks perfectly good English, obviously, and you want to feel. Actually, it gives a superiority complex. Oh, I know how to speak Spanish. I know how to speak French. Go somewhere, Dorit. Diana. Like I said earlier in the review, the jury is still out when it comes to Diana. I just don't know how I feel about Diana. I'm still trying to figure Diana out. Like, Diana is sending her team ahead of her to check out the rooms. Who are you? You know what? I'm going to let her have it too. I'm going to leave her alone. I say the jury is out on Diana, but I don't think I'm going to like Diana. So, yeah. So then we see all the ladies as they go to dinner. Everyone makes it to the table with the exception of Dorit. Dorit is late. So Dorit finally comes down and Dorit says, "Oh my god, I only had 10 minutes to get ready." Oh. Everybody's like, "What happened?" Oh god. They put me in a room. It's ground floor. And then here's Dorit in her confessional. They put me in a room that is ground floor. There were like 10 people around. And it is really triggering. It really triggered me. Okay, Dorit. A ground floor room. 10 people. Where's the correlation? Like I tweeted last night, the wind at this point will trigger Dorit. Oh my god, Kyle. The wind just blew right by my face, and I am reminded of when that burglar came into my room. Oh my god, Kyle. It just reminded me of when he came into my room. I felt the wind when he just walked past me, and it just reminded me of that. Oh my god. Oh my god, my babies. Baba. Oh my god. Oh my god. Girl, everything. Dorit is going to milk this for everything that it is worth, and it is going to annoy the out of me. So, Brenna, messy ass, she found the perfect time because she asked him, I've been gone for about a week, so what's happened? So that leads them to the dark conversation that was had. So Sutton asked Crystal why was it brought up. And I'll tell you why it was brought up, Sutton. It was brought up because of Garcelle. Garcelle is the one that ushered in this conversation. I don't think Crystal would have said anything had Garcelle not said that she felt that Crystal would have found any way to make that statement of tell me you don't see color. So, yeah, as much as Garcelle says watch your friend, you might want to watch Garcelle as well, because Garcelle is the one that I know Garcelle didn't know that Crystal was going to say that, but your friend right there beside you started the shit. So yeah, let's talk about Garcelle. So let's put this on Garcelle too. Let's not just throw this all on Crystal. Now, could Crystal have chosen better words? Absolutely. Absolutely. And that is one thing I gotta say about Garcelle that I just cannot stand. Garcelle goes in her interviews and talks shit. But this season she's been a little bit more vocal in the scenes, but not much. So Erica says, oh my God, I am in awe of this. And they were like, what are you talking about? This is the same thing I was trying to say last year. Sis, no ma'am. Do not try to draw a parallel. There is no parallel. These are congruent, baby. These are congruent situations. They don't go the same direction. That is what congruent is, right? Y'all know what I mean. These situations, like your situation is going this way, and this one, they don't meet. They don't meet anywhere. So yeah. So they then do get into what was said, and Sutton is talking about the fact that Crystal has been accused of doing this before with her friends. Brenna says she's heard it, but she's never mentioned it. I don't really care. For me, like I said earlier, I feel like something deeper might have. I just don't know what the context of the conversation is, so I can't. Because if you listen to Crystal, go back and listen to Crystal, you guys. And this is why I say I feel like there's something that's left out, because it's kind of weird. Because because Garcelle, Crystal said to Garcelle, she told you, right? She said, yes, she did. And she said, you didn't find that problematic? So I'm just, because what Sutton said wasn't problematic, it wasn't dark, it was just awkward as fuck, is what it was. To me, personally, it was just very awkward, but that's it, you guys. That's all I got. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode. Leave your comments down in the comment section below. subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, share the video. And until next time, you guys, stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, be blessed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.